You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
So we learned last night that Maason Smith is not going to play for LSU against Florida State. That's a bummer. One of the things, though, that I've kind of been keeping a keen eye on is a lot of the attention given Maason Smith. And it's a little, I want to say surprising, but it's surprising in a good way. It's like a pleasant surprise that a guy who missed a few games as a freshman in 21 and then missed all of last season is going into his third year, having played not even a full season yet, but is still roundly regarded as a first-round draft pick and a guy that could very well be the first defensive tackle taken in the draft if he stays healthy and has the type of season we think he can. He's that big and physical and disruptive and just an awesome display of power and agility and athleticism for that size. And for whatever it's worth, Matt Miller over at ESPN.com, their draft analyst, put out a new mock draft. And sure enough, he has Maason Smith going 13 overall. Now, the unfortunate part is it's 13 overall to the Atlanta Falcons. But he writes, go back to the 2021 season and you'll see Smith wrecking SEC offensive linemen en route to a 4-sack, 12-pressure season as a true freshman acclimating to elite college football play. Points out that he tore his ACL, a length, power, 3-down skill set of a 3-4 defensive end, along with the mobility of an impact pass rusher. One NFC scout said, quote, he jumps off the tape, and you see it at practice too. He has legitimate top 10 potential. So, yeah, Maason Smith is going to get a lot of that love if he can just stay healthy and play a full season. But this is an unfortunate way for him to start, knowing now that he's going to miss the season opener against Florida State. What an opportunity for him to announce himself. The other player that Matt Miller mocks in round 1 from LSU is a guy that we've talked about a good bit here as someone who, despite his accolades, a guy who has the on-field production, but hasn't quite gotten the accolades and the national respect, is Malik Nabers. And Matt Miller's got Malik Nabers going number 27 overall to the Dallas Cowboys. Talks about it being a perfect running mate for CeeDee Lamb, averaging more than 14 yards a catch last season, body control, quick feet, all that good stuff, and says the Cowboys would be lucky to have him as the second option to Lamb, given both their abilities to make defenders miss in the open field. I'd love to see that for Malik Nabers. Everything that Kayshawn was at the beginning of last season, all of the expectation around Kayshawn Boutte as a potential first receiver taken in the draft, a potential top 10 pick, which is where everybody had him slotted, and then to see him have the disappointing season where he battled inconsistency, missed a few games and all that sort of stuff, and then had clearly some off-field issues that he needed to answer for, which saw him fall into round 6. Maybe Malik Nabers can be the opposite of that, a guy who plays his way into and up draft boards. For whatever it's worth, he's got, as far as the wide receivers, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. going number 2 overall. It's a heavy quarterback draft, as we're all expecting. He's got Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State going 11 to the Bears. And I thought there was one other receiver maybe he had ahead. I'm looking for it. Xavier Worthy out of Texas, 18 to Miami. He has Rome Odunze out of Washington going 20 to the New Orleans Saints. And then it's Malik, 27 to Dallas. So he's got Malik as the 5th wide receiver taken, which is so interesting because it wasn't that long ago that receivers weren't valued in the first round. But as offenses in the NFL have continued to change, and you've seen I mean, just look at the LSU guys. Look at Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Look at Devontae Smith in Philadelphia. Look at the value first-round draft pick receivers are having on the league as the league becomes more and more offensive and certainly in passing offense. You're seeing the value there in round one. So Matt Miller at ESPN's got Malik Neighbors going 27 overall to the Dallas Cowboys. And as we mentioned, the Saints taking a receiver with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. I would be actually devastated if the Saints did that. Considering, and it's not that he's a bad player. He caught 75 balls last year for 1,100 yards, and decided to return to Washington for his senior year. No doubt he's a fine player, and he's a big receiver too, 6'3", 211. And you could look at that as a potential Michael Thomas replacement in time. How in the world the Saints could justify taking another wide receiver in round one at this point would be mind-boggling to me. But get there when you get there. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.